here in Chicago at the IACA Conference and spoke with vendors at the trade show to talk about their technology for law enforcement. So here we go.
Yeah, my name's Dallas Knight. I'm the Vice President of Client Success and Channel at Bluelight. I started my career in the Army at 17, and after a combat tour, I decided to jump into the civilian space, where I became an intelligence analyst at the Las Vegas Police Department, assigned to the Nevada HIDA under the DEA, where I primarily worked narcotic investigations for just under a decade, and then made the crazy leap of faith into the corporate world, sharing my passion and expertise of the software that we leveraged in our day-to-day workflow. And now I have the privilege of being able to share and be a part of an innovative team with the solutions that analysts use today. So Bluelight was founded by a few retired Army Green Berets. So almost our entire upper echelon of our staff is prior military, prior law enforcement, prior intelligence analysts. So for me, it feels like we're at home. And being that we come from that field and expertise, the client is at the center of everything we do. So from the software sales to the support, the community, the training, and even the technology that we aim to develop is really centered around how we can best help the analysts and investigators in the field. Traditionally, Bluelight is the primary company within North America that provides training and consulting in services for the I2 platform. So that's everything from Analyst Notebook to Enterprise Insight Analysis, iBase, and everything in between. But in the last few years, we realized that there was a void and a major challenge in the workflow that the analyst has, and that we were spending approximately 80% of our time, what I like to call data shopping. And so we're going data source to data source, knocking on that door, querying, and there's so much time doing that we're often only spending a very small amount of time doing what we're amazing at, and that is conducting analysis and supporting investigations. So with that in mind, we created Blue Fusion that is seamlessly integrated with Analyst Notebook, but also platform agnostic. So if, as a user, if you're leveraging something other than Analyst Notebook, we can integrate there as well. And then on the other side of Blue Fusion, we're data agnostic. So essentially, we build connectors out to the data sources that you deem necessary and pertinent in your workflow, provide you a one-stop query. So you ask a question very easily. You can essentially get your coloring crayon out and draw out your question, and it's gonna simultaneously hit those data sources and bring back a consolidated view for you. You can interrogate that information and then decide where you want to go from there. It might be pushing it into Analyst Notebook. It might be a different platform of your liking. We typically do 2 to 3 webinars every month. One of them is always free, and it's typically about 30 minutes, just a quick kind of tips and tricks within the software or within the industry, just to keep that enablement going. And then our second is what we call premium webinar. It's typically just $9.99, and it's an in-depth 1-hour, very tailored training on a specific task or capability within Analyst Notebook or other solution. And then we do webinars with our partners all the time. We're actually partnered with probably at least 50% of the vendors here, and we like to expose the capabilities of those partners to our clients so that they understand what is available to them. You can check our event and the calendar out at bluelight.llc.com under our calendar tab.
So my name's David Consacao. I'm the Business Development Manager for OSINT Combine. So Manny, I've had over 18 years experience with Australian law enforcement, predominantly at the federal level, so it would be the equivalent of your FBI here. But also I've had some experience working at the lower levels, the state level, so that would be equivalent to the counties and the sheriff's departments here in the US. And later on in my career, I've also moved into more of a national security type role. And I've been an analyst, but also an operator. So I'm one of those unique guys in the middle who quite understands how to be an analyst, but to support the investigators, but also be on the ground out there and how to do things. So that's just a little bit about myself. My specialties and what I really enjoy and passionate about is really analysing and investigating matters involving counter-terrorism, organised crime, and that's really where I stand out in my background and field. So the company itself is called OSINT Combine. Essentially, we're an open source intelligence company. We provide training services, but our flagship product is actually called Nexus Explore, which is a technology platform that really pulls together all those open source information that we have available to us under one single pane of glass. Now, it's designed by analysts, for analysts, so we've really got that mindset sitting behind it of understanding how to work and how to use that. And the basis of it is it provides that speed and efficiency to really allow you to save that time and trawl through all that noise that you would normally experience as an analyst when you're taking so many different data points. So it's a really great product in that sense. We're moved across this Australian-based company, however we do have a US office now. And we're working across our Five Eyes partners from federal, state levels in both law enforcement and defence industries. So it's that ability to really, provide a cost-effective leads generation role for the local law enforcement departments. And what I mean by that, Manny, is that essentially, traditionally, coming from law enforcement, we have all these expensive deployments of tools such as surveillance, covert human source, sending out teams to do policing, etc. But before throwing all those finite resources out there and spending that money blindly, we're able to use the product itself to provide intelligence, get a prerequisite of what might be happening in the environment itself, and essentially provide that intelligence not only from a safety and leads generation perspective, but also that cost efficiency when you're going to deploy resources out in the field. Open source intelligence is a relatively new thing that's come into the field, particularly for law enforcement usage. What I would say for a crime analyst is, information does not have to be secret to be valuable. They should really incorporate OSINT and open source intelligence as part of their modern day toolkit. And that would be my takeaway advice for the new and upcoming crime analysts coming into the law enforcement field.
My name is Chris Wine, been working at Leads Online for about 2.5 years now. Prior to Leads Online, I was just a college kid playing football and met the owner of the company at a game and got blessed with a good opportunity. Now I work as an account executive with real-time crime. And essentially what real-time crime does is it takes an agency's cases from the RMS, from the time it's reported, and runs it through our database all the time. And because of that, every case is always worked, and once there's a lead produced, it actually is going to send it to the detective or analyst in that unit, so that every lead is realized.
My name is Craig Beckjord. I'm also with Leads Online. Like Chris, I've been with the company for about 2.5 years. In a previous life, I was on the job. I was on the job for 13 years in Boulder, Colorado. I was on patrol for 5 and a detective for 8. So I resonate when I'm at IACA. My crime analyst was gold. Her name is Mel Rainey. So Mel really helped me springboard my career and help add value to my day-to-day case files. So I worked general investigations. I worked in criminal intel for 2 years, and I left law enforcement out of our major crimes unit. I'm blessed to be with Leads Online, so I'm now serving in a different way. I still get my adrenaline dumps by serving the crime analysts and our detectives and our clients across the country. I'm also an account executive, so I work with our agencies across the country who are currently not clients and showing them the value add of Leads Online, how they can build it into their day-to-day operations. We have been in business as a company for over 20 years, and we started out in Texas, and now we have a nationwide footprint where we have 5,000 to 6,000 clients that are commissioned law enforcement agencies. We have been adding value since that time. We now receive 300,000 transactions a day from businesses across the country. It's the value add of that data. If I sell this tumbler at a pawn shop, it's my name, my date of birth, my DL, maybe even a digital image of my person at the time of transaction. So the crime analysts here, they're always doing a footprint. They're always doing a pattern of life on an individual, or a series, or a phone number, or an IMEI number. As our company has evolved, we've also grown our product offerings, as Chris alluded to with real-time crime. We've also purchased Business Watch International this year, so we're going to have one easy button for standardized intel collection for our space. We've also purchased Hawk Analytics, so we've now been folding in CellHawk, and we're going to be integrating cross-functionality hopefully between Leads Online and CellHawk, just to keep adding value to the great analysts that are using it every day. Our company is rooted in service. We have core principles that define us as a company that filter down into our day-to-day operations about adding value. Our clients have limited bandwidth right now, sadly, in the state of affairs, so we are about always trying to provide more to our clients and be there for them, whether it's a friendly phone call, whether it's hosting our annual leadership conference once a year for our analysts and our detectives and our detective sergeants. It's about giving back And yes, we are a private company, but we also want to be, we're part of the folks. We love when we hear success stories, how Leads Online helped clear an ag robbery or helped the victim. So it's not just about property, it's about the service side with everything that's being asked of our analysts right now in 2022.
I think what real-time crime is answering is the problem of case volume at scale and not having the ability to work every case and give every case the attention it deserves for the victim. Each detective analyst that I've worked with in the past year in real-time crime have about 100 plus cases assigned to them. So large case volume, and not every case can get the attention it deserves.
So right now, analysts are working patterns of life. They're working what's hitting, impacting their community and their police department. So if there was just to be one thing, it would be the simplicity. A client of Leads Online can say, show me all the catalytic converters that have been sold in my community or my state in the last 30 days. We have that ability. We are greatly assisting now with organized retail crime. We're assisting with human trafficking cases. There's multiple ways to think about Leads Online other than just simply trying to work a cold burglary. It's the human intel. But to cycle back to your original question, I would say if there's one thing that we can offer is to think about using Leads Online for everything that's in your day-to-day operations. It doesn't have to be associated with a piece of property to help advance the homicide or the human trafficking case.
So about 90% of the analysts here are using Leads Online. And the version of Leads Online they're using is what I would consider to be a manual version. And what they're doing is they take what's in that case and they're running searches through billions of records of people and property to look for a lead. And so I'm here to kind of show and tell our new product, Real-Time Crime, which is automating all of those searches for them and just letting them know when there's something relevant to their casework.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the All About Analysis channel. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like, hit subscribe, click that bell, and don't forget to share this video. See you next time.